As recently as 5 years ago, the idea of having a Plan B destination in another country in case trouble came was pretty far-fetched. Today, it's one of the least outrageous ideas that I hear floated around. What most people don't know and haven't figured out yet is where to go. In this short video, I'm going to break down how you get residency in one of my favorite destinations in Latin America and in the world, Colombia. Colombia was one of the no-fly zones for a long time. In our lifetime, Colombia saw an absolute disastrous civil war, both against paramilitaries, so-called FARC, that controlled roughly half the country for a period of time, and also the tremendous violence in the 90s all the way into the 2000s because of drug cartels. It was a very prosperous time for the people who were doing that, but a very sad and tragic time for most of the rest of the country that had to put up with that. The peace accords were finally signed in 2016. I was down in Colombia for the first time in 2010. There's very few places on earth that are as nice as Colombia. Even though this information is available in a lot of places, most regular folks working jobs and paying the mortgage and getting the kids off to school don't really know how to get residency in these really wonderful parts of Latin America, and it's so easy to do. Now, having said that, some of the things that I'm going to tell you could have changed by the time you go about getting residency for yourself or your family, so always make sure you contact professionals. So let's just dive in. Throughout all of Latin America, there are three basic ways for you to get legal residency in a country: rentistas, or a rentier visa, a retiree visa, or what's called in Spanish a pensionado. The third way that you can obtain legal residency is to invest. The inversionista or the investor visa is also very common. To qualify for a rentista or rentier visa in Colombia, you need roughly $3,000 of monthly income. Now, this cannot be employment income. This has to be from stocks, dividends, annuities, real estate, some other form of income other than your regular employment income. This amount allows you residency permits for any family composition. You and your spouse and 2 kids or 3 kids or 5 kids, and you want to get residency permits for all of them, this amount qualifies for all of them. For retirees and the pensionado visa, if you can show income of $900 per month, this is retirement income, a public or a private pension. So some form of ongoing retirement money, roughly equal to about $1,000. For investors and for the investor visa, the inversionista visa, there are 3 ways you can do this. A $30,000 investment in any Colombian company. This has to be an active company. You can also invest in real estate. The amount is roughly $105,000 to $110,000. This could be for your own personal use. You could live in this piece of real estate, a condo, for example, or you could rent it out and use it as a rental income source. The other investment option for temporary residency in Colombia is a $190,000 investment anywhere in Colombia. Any number of people who come with you also qualify for temporary residency. Now, a couple quick notes. If you're a temporary resident in Colombia, you do not qualify for their social security system, and you cannot enroll in Colombian healthcare. So you would have to make provisions for yourself to make sure that you have some kind of medical insurance that covers you while you're in Colombia. Once you have your temporary residency, you have to be in Colombia 2 times per year. Some countries require once a year, some require 1 visit every 2 years. In Colombia, you're required to go there twice per year in order to maintain your temporary residency. If you have a rentista visa, temporary residency, you not only have to visit twice per year, you also have to prove each time that you renew your temporary residency, which will have to be renewed every 1 to 2 years. The same thing is true retirees and for investors. And now, if you came in as a rentista, which is the easiest way to get temporary residency in Colombia, you actually are not eligible for permanent residency. This is very rare. Most countries do allow you, once you've been a temporary resident, to then proceed to be a permanent resident. In Colombia, that's not allowed, so this is a consideration you have to make at the very beginning. If you're a retiree or an investor in Colombia, you typically have to hold temporary residency for 5 years. After 5 years, you're able to apply for permanent residency. Once you have applied for permanent residency, you no longer need to meet the financial requirements, and you only have to show up in Colombia once every 2 years to maintain your permanent residency active. As a retiree or investor, you also have the option to apply for a passport and naturalization in Colombia after 5 years. So the total would be 10 years of residency. Like most of these Latin American countries that suffered long years of violence and disorder and all kinds of civil strife, Colombia really enjoys prosperity. You can feel it while you're there. The people who lived through that and who remember what that was like, now the next generation is very eager to take advantage of the prosperity that has emerged in Colombia. It's a young, vibrant, hardworking, healthy community of people who really respect and enjoy the fact that times are getting much better than they were in their parents' day and age, and everything is improving all at once. These are the kind of places I love to be in. Colombia is a good example of exactly that dynamic. The truth about naturalizing or getting residency in any of these places is just a simple process. These people love their bureaucracy like every country does, but the truth is, if you just get started, you're going to be very happy that you did. So much fear and negativity, and everybody's ready at the drop of a hat for violence to break out in North America. My advice to you is take advantage of this window of calm. If you want to know what a really well thought out Plan B looks like, I put a free download below this video. It's called the Bulletproof Plan B. I go through the 4 major areas that are required for you to have a really robust Plan B that will see you through tough times. Thanks very much, and remember, your freedom begins when you realize nobody else is coming to save you. I'll talk to you again in another video. Thanks.